Hi, Barry Mattis here for Real Time with IPC. Joining me today is Neil Hubble from Akrometrix. He is the president. Neil, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Barry.
So we're here at APEX and Neil has presented a paper early. Neil, why don't you talk a little bit about the paper?
Sure. Yeah, it was right in our wheelhouse of measuring thermal warpage, which is what we do as a company. But coming into some new challenges based on what we're seeing in the industry and needs. So a lot of mobile packaging, a lot of very thin, small-balled samples are coming. The industry standard for how you would test those samples is to physically remove and shear the solder balls off of those samples. That's becoming impractical. The balls are too small, the package is too thin, you might bend it. So what this paper dove into was what else can we do? What can we do to not remove the solder balls? So we presented a couple of approaches to that. One was just measuring on the ball side with a digital fringe projection technology and without painting the surface, which is one of the customer kind of demands, is like, hey, we want to make this not destructive, we don't want to do anything besides put the sample in and test it. But the other one, which was taken and brought to us by our customer base, because they're already doing a little bit, they're doing it against industry standards, is to just simply flip it over and measure the top side. So the classic way is that we want to measure where the rubber meets the road, we want to measure the solder balls, which makes sense, but these thin light packages, can you just flip them over and is the thickness consistent enough to get a warpage profile that you can make a decision on? And the conclusion of that study was yes. Yes, you can for thinner, lighter samples. Simply flip them over, allowing you to do much faster, much easier, much more volume of reliability testing over a high volume application.
How was the attendance? Is this a topic that is hot in the industry, if you will?
Yeah, attendance was real good. I felt for the technical sessions. Spent some time with the technical committee, and I think everybody was real happy with the papers this year.
Were there any questions that kind of surprised you, or what were the key takeaways for the people that came through?
Yeah, I mean, one of the concerns was, okay, if you flip a VGA over and you put it on glass, is it going to just stick to the glass? And for these samples, no. I mean, the short answer is, yeah, you can actually test like this without worrying about adherence. They're too light. There's no flux, there's no extra chemistry to worry about there. And some of it was deeper dive into some of the optical technologies and what have you.
Cool. So we're at APEX, and of course at APEX, AI has been a big topic. Everywhere we go, people are talking about AI. Has AI reached into your company yet, and if so, how so?
Sure. I mean, I'm sure our employees are using it their share on the software side, but certainly for being at this show, the hardware end of it is something that has to be incredibly considered and possibly not the area that's talked about the most. So what that means for us is a lot of large CPUs, a lot of processing power, a lot of bandwidth. Whereas that was mainly a telecom application before, where you needed servers. It's becoming increasingly larger boards, larger chips, which is a whole new challenge for our product. So a lot of our product development of late has been towards that space, because we stay very in touch with our customer base. They're very much, hey, this is coming, we're going to need solutions. So we're at the edges of some releases for large area and some thermal solutions and how we heat some of these big boards.
Nice. Now, as beyond AI, what other sorts of technologies or roadmaps do you have coming up for 25?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is just pushing resolution, right? So I mean, it goes back to some of that thinner, lighter, sure. tighter pitch, and I'd also say automation. I mean, you get to an area where we're a lab tool, but you're selling to companies that have a very automated production line. We're getting away from the area of a lot of manual interaction with the samples, with the optics. So a lot of that has been kind of bidding new ways to automate within our little niche, automating on the lensing, automating on changing metrologies, and even automating towards combining some of our metrologies that we use for measurement of surfaces.
With the automation, what's the primary goal? Is it labor reduction, cycle time improvement, reliability?
I would say not necessarily labor so much. It definitely cycle time is a factor, and repeatability. Right, so that ease of use, that ability, because our tools used to be more failure analysis, where you had an engineer that was going in and deep learning. I mean, a lot of our use is more quality assurance. It's a tech that they want to come in and hit a button, and the system does its thing and load some more samples and hit another button. So we need to make it very intelligent and adding a lot of features, while at the same time making it very user friendly. That balance.
Nice. Well, I certainly appreciate the update today. This has been great, and congratulations on the paper. It sounds like that was a good success.
Thank you.
All right, once again, this is Neil Hubble, President of Akrometrix. I'm Barry Mattis for Real Time with IPC. Thanks for watching.